Hello everyone, today is 21st of July. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Guys, in today's video, we will be taking up all the articles, important ones from the Hindu newspaper and one article from the Indian Express also we will be taking up. Guys, first of all, let's have the overview of the entire newspaper articles that we will be taking up. Guys, this is the article from the Indian Express which talks about the green stimulus that is needed. A very good article for our examination. Then guys, this is the page number 1 and here we can see that nothing with respect to the UPSC has been there. The snooping issue which is going, it is causing the disruption into the parliament. Just similar kind of things are there, nothing very much important. Then guys, into the city section also, the regional news, the rising number of COVID cases, the less vaccine stocks, etc. has been mentioned. Now guys, here we can see that the water harvesting structures of the Rajasthan has been discussed. We'll see that what is important here. Then guys, reaching to the editorial page, here again the Pegasus incident has been mentioned. We'll see that what extra has been given into this particular article. Then guys, this article also is talking about recent Pegasus and snooping issue. We'll see that what is there. Then guys, this particular article talks about the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana dispute onto the water resources. We'll see that what is there. Now guys, this particular article is talking about the Kitex controversy into the Kerala with respect to the relocation. Now guys, nothing very much important is there. Then this particular article is talking that problems with respect to the India's equity bubble. We'll see what is there. Then guys, this particular article is talking about the paradoxes that are existing into the India. Reasons have been given. Very good article. We will see it. Then guys, into this particular page, here we can see that the Supreme Court has annulled the Cooperative Amendment Act, 97th Constitutional Amendment Act. Very important article. We will see that what has happened here. After that guys, other issues are the political, not very much important. Then guys, here we can see again the snooping and all such kind of things have been discussed, nothing very much important. Then guys, moving to the next page, here also guys, the regional issues, regional disputes have been more or less talked about. Fine. Then guys, onto the world page, we can see that the China South Asia grouping has been talked about. We'll see that what is there. Then guys, into the space tourism, one new landmark is there. We will see that what is there. Then guys, the other news are not very much important. Then onto the business page, new forecast for the Indian economy has been given by the ADB. We will see this thing. Then guys, the next is the sports page, nothing very much important here. So guys, these are the important articles for the today, and now let's discuss them in detail. Now guys, taking up the first article from the Hindu newspaper. Now guys, here we can see that an important landmark judgment has been passed by the Supreme Court which will be affecting the cooperative structure into the India. Now guys, before going into this particular article, we will be taking it from the very background. See, in 2012, government passed the 97th Constitutional Amendment Act, and by this 97th Constitutional Amendment Act, a new part was added into the Indian Constitution, that is the part 9th B, and it talked about the cooperatives into the India. Now guys, it has already been provided into our DPSPs also that we need to enhance that the democratic functioning of the bodies such as cooperative needs to be there. Now guys, the part 9B carries the article number 243ZH to article number 243ZT. And guys, into this, many of the provisions with respect to the cooperatives have been laid. Now, when this particular amendment was passed, two issues came up, and number one issue was this, that into this particular Constitutional Amendment Act, the ratification of more than half of the state was needed. This was the Constitutional Amendment Act by the special majority where the ratification was needed, but that ratification was not taken by the government at the center level. Then the second thing which was said here, it said that it is violative of the federal scheme into the Indian Constitution, because guys, you know that we have the 7th schedule, and into the 7th schedule there are the 3 lists. Within these the 3 lists there is a state list, and it has been provided that into the normal circumstances only the state can make law into the state list. And guys, within the state list there is the entry number 32 where specifically the cooperatives have been given to the state government. Now it has been said that as this particular amendment act has happened, many of the aspects with respect to the cooperatives, they have been given to the center government. For example guys, we can see here that first of all, Article 243ZI is there, which makes it clear that the state may only make law on some of the very little aspects, that is the incorporation, regulation and winding up of a society, and even that is subject to the provision of Part 9B. So guys, very limited scope has been given, and so basically subjective limitations have also been imposed. So this is going against the spirit of entry number 32. Then guys, second, it has been provided that the center has taken overarching power with respect to the cooperatives, and even the center had taken a power that it will determine the number of directors that a society should have, or the length of tenure which will be there for the directors, and what expertise these directors should have. So many of the minuscule details even of the cooperatives have been kept under the prerogative of the center, and guys, therefore it is violative of entry number 32 under the state list. So therefore all the provisions onto this particular lines have been struck from the part number 11b of the Indian Constitution. Now, after this particular thing, guys, there is one more aspect that has been there. Guys, into the same part 9b, there are some of the provisions with respect to the corporates which pertain to the multi-state cooperatives. Now, the multi-state cooperatives are those which are operational in more than one state. Now, into the multi-state cooperatives, already the scope lies within the purview of the center. So, guys, the multi-state cooperative provisions have been intact; they have not been removed. Now guys, into this particular direction, there is one particular more new issue comes. There is the doctrine of severability. The doctrine of severability. Now guys, when we talk about the doctrine of severability, it provides that there might be some of the situation where there is any particular legislation. Now this particular legislation might be violative of the fundamental right. It might be violative of some other aspect of the Indian Constitution. Fine. So, into this particular thing, what will happen? The judiciary will review this particular act or legislature. Now, when the judiciary is reviewing it, judiciary can find that, okay, into this entire legislation, only there are two provisions which are violative of the fundamental right or the constitution. Then judiciary can order that, okay, not the entire legislation or the act will be removed, just these two provisions will be removed. So, the doctrine of severability basically is providing a scope to the judiciary that whenever it is reviewing a legislature, and if only specific parts are violative of the constitution, then those specific parts only can be removed. Now what has happened here, guys, as only the parts which pertained to the state cooperatives, they have been removed from the part 9b, the doctrine of severability has been applied into this particular case. But guys, here there was the dissenting judgment which has also been given by the Justice K.M. Joseph. He said that the doctrine of severability cannot be applied into this particular situation. Why? Because this particular act as a whole is going against the spirit of the federalism, because when it was passed, the ratification by half of the states which was needed was not taken. So the doctrine of severability cannot be applied because in a whole the act is violative of the constitution. But guys, as the decisions into the bench are taken onto the basis of majority, so the majority has said that only specific parts are needed to be removed. So guys, the specific parts where the power of the state cooperatives was taken by the center, they have been removed. So guys, this is a kind of an important aspect, and it will be having an implication on enhancing the federalism into the India also, because guys, all the time we see that into the India asymmetric federalism is there, where the tilt is into the favor of center, and into this capacity many a times the center has even tried to expand its power. Now just a few days back, even the Ministry of Cooperation was made up, and after the formation of Ministry of Cooperation, this particular problem again came to the light, that now by this formation of new ministry also, again the center is trying to intervene onto the state matter of cooperatives. Now guys, into this capacity, when this new judgment has, this new direction has come by the Supreme Court, it might be reducing the fear of the state governments. So guys, this is this entire judgment and all the matters related to it. I hope you have understood it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article again taken up from the Hindu newspaper, and here we can see that the water harvesting structures of the Rajasthan have been talked about. Now guys, this particular article, it can be used as a case study in some of your answers related to the developmental initiatives. Particularly when we talk about sustainable development, some of the attachment from here we can put into our answer. See guys, first of all, when we talk about water, it has been said that the World War III, if it will happen, most probably it will be fought because of the water. Now guys, the water wars are the reality. Within our country also, when we talk about water, it is a marker of a kind of a problem. Guys, into the India, according to a report by the Niti Aayog, it has been said that the 50% of the population, they have no access to the safe drinking water, and about 2 lakh people, they die every year due to lack of access of safe water. Fine. Then guys, it has been provided that at least 40% of the Indian population will have no access to drinking water by year 2030. and within few years more than 21 of the important tier 1 cities, they will be running out of water. All these observations have been made by the Niti Ayog. Now guys, further, if we see the condition of India in terms of water that it is receiving, then guys, according to the Central Water Commission, it has been provided that in 1 year the maximum need of water in India is approximately 3000 billion cubic meters. But guys, only from rain we are receiving approximately 4000 billion cubic meters. So just by the rain we receive excess of the water. The problem is that that water is not judicially used, it is not harvested, it is not captured and stored. Just 8% of the water is being captured and the rest is just being water runoff. Now into this capacity, the water harvesting becomes an important thing. And guys, now this particular article will make more sense, and now we are going to this article. So guys, when we talk about the water harvesting, traditionally many of the state, in many of the cultures, the water harvesting structures are made. There are the tank construction into the South India, even into the temple architecture of South India. Within the temple premises there used to be a tank which was used for storing water. Now, when we talk about Rajasthan, guys, Rajasthan has been an arid state, semi-arid or arid state, and into that capacity, they have from long traditions have made the rainwater harvesting structures, and these structures are the ponds, these are anicuts, check dams, johars, and nadis. Fine. Now, guys, what has happened? As we have said that Rajasthan is an arid and semi-arid state, these rainwater harvesting structures have been built from the traditional times, but guys, now these kind of structures, they are not being focused too much. These structures, they are not being given attention. Fine. Because of that they are they have become less. Now into this capacity, already the government of Rajasthan came out with the Rajiv Gandhi Jal Sanchay Yojana. Now the Rajiv Gandhi Jal Sanchay Yojana, it provided that we need to first of all generate the awareness about water conservation into the people, because water is a scarce resource. And secondly, it has also been provided that the effective implementation of rejuvenation of traditional water resources, construction of new water sources, water conservation and water harvesting related activities are to be taken up into the rural areas. So when we see this particular scheme, it is having two most important things: to aware people and to generate and to develop the infrastructure. Now guys, when this infrastructure will be developed, two things again will happen. Number one, it will meet the water needs. Secondly, it will also be generate the employment into the rural areas, because these people will be utilized, they will develop, they will construct, they will restore these water bodies. So to win-win a situation will be there. Moreover guys, there is one more important aspect into this particular yojana, that is here no new funding will be given. Rather, it has been provided that this entire yojana or scheme is to be implemented by using the already available financial resources, either given by the center or state or mobilized by the people's participation, etc. So guys, on to the financial or the fiscal front also, it is a very good scheme. Now what has happened? See, into the Rajasthan, under the Rajiv Gandhi Jal Sanchay Yojana, water bodies were restored, they were developed, and as the existing funds were to be used, what was actually done? The MG Narega was utilized. Under the MG Narega, people were rolled up and they were asked that they needed to develop these traditional water bodies. They have been developed into last few years. Now guys, the Rajasthan is seeing that what is the impact of these water harvesting structures that have been made into the Rajasthan, how they are avoiding the extreme water stress. Is that clear? Though it is also a fact that into the last few years also into the Rajasthan there have been the water stress, there have been the droughts, etc., but they have not been that much severe which they used to be earlier. So guys, we can see that these water harvesting structures that have been made, they are showing some kind of an impact, and into mean course of time even more impact will be done. Moreover guys, as the government is conducting the assessment of the infrastructure that has been taken, one more element of the governance we can see here, that is the kind of a good governance needs to measure that what has been the impact of all the infrastructure or the government initiatives that have been taken. So such kind of thing is also being taken up. So guys, into this particular capacity, it can be a good example we can utilize into sustainable development, good governance, what could be the ideal model of a governance scheme that we can see, and some specific information with respect to the water stress also we have taken up here. So guys, a multi-dimensional utility could be there. Please do utilize it in your answers. So that is all, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article has been taken up from the Indian Express newspaper, and it talks about the green stimulus that needs to be given by the government. First of all, it will be important for our GS paper number 3 under the topic related to the Indian economy, alternative models of Indian economy which could be there. Now, first of all, taking up the basic idea, guys, see, whenever into an economy, a kind of an economic crisis come, the government come out with the fiscal stimulus, with the fiscal easing. Under this fiscal stimulus package, government does more expenditure. Government basically follows the easy monetary policy. The government and the central bank both, they follow easy monetary policy. The idea is this, that pump more and more money into the economy. When the more money will be going into the economy, the people who will be the recipient of this particular money, they will give more demand. They will raise their aggregate demand. When the aggregate demand will be raised, a signal will go to the suppliers that they also need to increase their supply. When they have to increase supply, they need to procure raw material, they need to hire more people, they need to expand their production capacity, and into all this particular thing, even they will raise a kind of a demand. Okay, demand for laborers, demand for raw material, demand for machinery. And guys, when that demand will be raised, again the suppliers of other suppliers also will become activated, and into this capacity the entire economy will come into a kind of a motion. So fiscal stimulus is always given. Now guys, government around the world, they gave fiscal stimulus around 2008-9 when there was the basically global fiscal financial meltdown was there. Now into the aftermath of COVID-19 also, the fiscal stimulus are being given. Even India announced the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, where 20 lakh crore rupees package was announced. Now onto the ground, there are the disputes also. Some people say that it was not 20 lakh crore rupees, it was just 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh crore rupees. However, we'll not go into that. But anyhow, government came out with the fiscal stimulus. Around the world it is going on. Now into this article, it has been said that we need to focus onto the green stimulus. Government needs to channelize money into an economy in such a way that it is bringing some kind of an environmental benefits also, because then it will be a win-win situation. Because guys, when we talk about India, the problem of pollution, problem of clean water, problem of all such kind of things are there. So there are actually the 4 very good ideas which have been given. So these are the 4 scattered ideas. So guys, directly we can utilize it into our GS paper answers. So guys, majorly it will be important for our GS paper number 3, issues related to the economy, sustainable development and environment. Now, the first idea that has been given into this particular article, guys, you know that every year around into the months of early winter, into the North India, there is a problem of winter pollution, and even the Supreme Court has said that Delhi becomes the gas chamber. Now, majority of the reason that why this pollution comes, it has been attributed to the stubble burning that is done into the North India, particularly into the states of Haryana, Punjab and Western UP. Now, because of this stubble burning, there is the pollution of there is an environmental problem. Now guys, it has been said that even farmers, they have a problem, they have a limitation. They cannot dispose this particular stubble, because taking it out, processing it and using it into some other kind of venture might be involving a kind of a cost. So here it has been said that whatever crop residue is there into the farm, fine, just issue the remunerative prices for that. Government say that okay, we will buy your stubble at this particular price. Now obviously when the price will be attached to that stubble, that crop residue, the farmers will be picking it up, will be packaging it up and will be giving to the government. Now government in turn, what it needs to do, it needs to convert that stubble into the briquettes. Okay guys, the briquettes are like this, that when you will compress the stubble, it can be converted into a brick like structure. Now these briquettes guys can be used to replace the coal into the thermal power plant, and already the NTPC had used the basically stubble briquettes in their coal plants, and they has shown that their calorific value is equivalent to the coal. Entirely coal can be replaced. So guys, it has been said that this stubble which is being burned into an unproductive way, it could be used into a productive way to generate the electricity. Now it will be having the win-win situation again. Number one, the farmers will be compensated. As the farmers will be compensated guys, already the farmer community which is into the distress, they will find a kind of a new avenue. Moreover, we also need to double the farmers' income. Okay, so that particular objective will also be achieved. Moreover, guys, what will happen? The pollution problem will be further reduced. Is it clear? That is one thing. Then guys, the second idea here has been given is with respect to the electronic vehicles. Now when we say talk about the electronic vehicles, guys, actually there is a vicious conundrum which is there. Now the problem of egg and chicken is there. What is this problem? See, number one, today if I have to buy an EV, I might not buy it, or I might not consider it very easily. Why? The reason is that I believe that if I want to have a car, I should not be having the limitations. Fine, if I'm going 500 kilometers away, there might not be the charging station, charging infrastructure, and what, my car is stranded in between away. So as there is a charging infrastructure is not there, people are not buying the EVs. And secondly, as the people are not buying the EVs, there is no incentive for the companies also to invest into the charging infrastructure. So there are a kind of a vicious circle which has been created, because our infrastructure is not there, people don't buy EVs, and because people don't buy EVs, we cannot develop the infrastructure. So here it has been said that now government can step in. Government has already been giving the stimulus, so government here needs to give the green stimulus. Government needs to provide the central government guaranteed debt to build the charging infrastructure. When this charging infrastructure will be built, what will happen? Suddenly the sentiments into the consumer will become positive. They will give more and more demand for the electronic vehicles, and as there will be more demand, the companies, they need to scale up their production capability, they need to hire more people, they need to procure more raw material. That in turn will create more of a demand, and into mean course of time, so big automobile EV automobile market will develop into the India, that government, whatever it has invested initially, easily it can recover it back. So this could be one initiative that government needs to take up. Then guys, the third, sorry, when we talk about the government's targets that government has taken as a part of a Paris climate summit, government had said that 450 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030 we will be developing. Now it has been said that okay, the government has done very much good, but guys, still government needs to take more of the avenues into the consideration by which a bigger share of renewable energy is coming up. Here government has said that what we can do, we can incentivize the villages. Okay, how we can incentivize the villages? See guys, there are, first of all, the power generation, okay, where actually power is being made. For example, the NTPC, it is generating the power by burning the coal, so power generation is there. Then guys, the transmission happens, okay. Then guys, there are the discoms also, the distribution companies which are actually which are actually supplying the electricity to your house. So distribution companies are there. Now guys, when we talk about the distribution companies into the India, the distribution companies, they are also buying back the electricity from you if you have developed the electricity in your house by utilizing the solar panel. Fine, that thing is already going on. Now it has been said that when the electricity is to be provided to the villages, number one, many of the villages, they are at the far-flung locations. Many of the villages, only few houses are there. So guys, actually the distribution companies, even the government is basically ending up in making more losses when it is supplying the electricity to the villages. 7 rupees per unit is expenditure to supply the electricity to the rural areas, and guys, many a times the recovery of electricity bills etc is not very much good into the rural areas. So it has been said that rather than distribution companies supplying the electricity to the rural areas, you incentivize that okay, you develop your own electricity, use it for your own consumption, and then supply us, we will buy it back. And buying it back and then supplying it to the other urban areas will, number one, be good for profitability for the distribution companies. Secondly, when into the rural areas, solar panels will be deployed, when the farmers will make the electricity into their field, into their houses, and when they are selling it to the government, the farmers will also get the money. So it is again a win-win situation. And guys, when we talk about India, there are approximately 6 lakh villages in India, and if even one village is producing 1 megawatt of electricity, then guys, 600 gigawatt of electricity we can develop through the villages only, more than the entire target of 450 gigawatt. So this is one new idea here which has been given. Then guys, the next idea has been given with respect to the utilization of the cow dung cakes. Now, by the Ujjwala Yojana and by many of the interventions at the level of union as well as state, now most of the people, they have received the gas stoves and the LPG connections, and therefore the consumption of cow dung is reducing slowly. It is now not much used into the cooking. So therefore, such cow dung can be converted or can be basically utilized into the gobar gas plants, and into these gobar gas plants natural gas can be built. And guys, this natural gas can be procured by the government at the remunerative prices, and government can utilize this particular gas in generating the electricity, in running the transport vehicles. Already guys, into the Delhi CNG is being used. So this natural gas can also be further enhanced, can be processed, and can be used for the mobility purposes, for the cooking purposes, for the electricity generation. Such kind of possibilities would be there. So guys, these four ideas which has been given into this particular article, they are very much good examples which you can utilize into your answers. So that is all about this particular article. Guys, I hope that you have understood it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this particular article, it is talking about the ongoing water dispute issue between the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Number one, already we have discussed this particular article or this particular content in our earlier newspaper analysis also. Now guys, again into a consolidated manner it has been there. So if you have not seen it, please be very much attentive, and if you, in case you have seen it, some of the more consolidated information we will be taking up here. Now guys, when we talk about the two states, that is the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they got bifurcated in two of the states, fine. And as they got bifurcated, guys, many of the resources are to be divided between the two states, and one of the important resource is the water. Now, water is actually a very sensitive issue into the entire country, because guys, large number of people depend on to the water. Number one, for the consumption, secondly for the agriculture, and many other aspects are also related. Now guys, when we talk about the water, there is already the article number 262 of the Indian Constitution, which provides that the interstate water disputes, their adjudication has been provided actually into this article 262, and here the power has been given to the parliament that it can come by any particular law by which the adjudication of water disputes between the two states can be resolved. Parliament also have the power that it can restrict the Supreme Court or any other court to exercise their jurisdiction into the matters of the water dispute. Now guys, as article 262 gave the power to the parliament has actually made two of the acts, that is the River Board Act of 1956 and the Interstate Water Dispute Act of 1956 again. Now, it has been provided into the River Board Act that whenever there is one particular river, now the river has a very big basin also, and into the entire river basin, large number of projects are to be built, hydropower utilities are built, etc. So guys, all the projects which are there onto a particular river or within its basin, they will be governed by a particular river board that will be established. Fine, very basic idea. Now guys, coming back to our background, so I said that Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they got bifurcated, and now the water resources are also to be distributed between the two states. Now within the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, two of the most important rivers are the Krishna and the Godavari. Now both Krishna and Godavari, they have many of the projects onto them already. And guys, as these two new states came up into the being, they announced even more newer projects onto these two rivers to provide water, to generate electricity, etc. But guys, as still now 7 years have been passed that two states got bifurcated, but up till now the river board has not been constituted, which will be looking that okay, what will be the matter or what will be the governance of this particular project. So many of the contentions have been emerged. Now guys, what happened just a few days back, the Ministry of Jal Shakti has announced the river board for the two of the river, that is the Krishna and Godavari. Okay, now it has been said that it has been provided that river board, that is the river board onto the Krishna river board, it will be operating and will be maintaining the 36 projects into the Krishna basin, and the other board, that is the Godavari river board, it will maintain and operate the 71 of the projects into the Godavari basin. It will ensure that the judicious water use is there in both the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So guys, what will happen? Number one, most of the problems or the disputes that were there onto the water, they might now be resolved because the river board will be maintaining a kind of a judicious supervision. Fine. But guys, as this particular river board has been announced after the 7 years, still there are some of the problems which have been there. Now guys, what are the problems there is there? Telangana is particularly not happy. Telangana is having a particular view that this particular notification or this river board should be coming after the finalization of on by the board onto the Krishna water that is to be distributed. Guys, already there is a water tribunal that is discussing that what amount of Krishna river, what amount of water needs to be given to the Andhra Pradesh, what is to be given by the to Telangana. So until and unless it is finalized, it is completely accepted by both the governments, till then constituting the river board doesn't make much of the sense. So after only that thing could have been given. So this is an apprehension of the Telangana. However, the Andhra Pradesh had more accepted this particular verdict or for this particular river board. Now guys, it has been provided that center's responsibility now comes that it now should see that the empower board which have been constituted, they function into a fair manner, as well as further it has also been provided that at the same time both the state governments should also be given enough of the autonomy or the venturing space that they can utilize the water resources into their state to fulfill the demands or the needs of the people, as well as to bring up the economic development. Because by guys, you know this thing that by developing the hydropower, the electricity generation and many of the such ancillary facilities are provided, then at the same time it has also been provided that though state can use their water resources for their own economic development, but they should not go into a kind of an unhealthy competition or unhealthy claim onto these resources. They need to work through the cooperation. They need to focus onto the water and energy conservation and improving the efficiency of already existing irrigation schemes, hydel projects, etc. So guys, here it has been said that whatever has been achieved, that is to be taken down, it is needed to be leveraged, and the cooperation is to be taken down. So that is all about this particular article and this issue. Guys, it will be very much important into the papers related to the GS paper number 2, because there the federal disputes, federal issues, center-state relation has been, and the state-state relation has been mentioned. So there we can utilize it. So that is all about this particular article, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this article, it talks about India's equity market bubble. Fine. Now, when we talk about the equity market bubble, first of all, let's understand that what we are talking about, and then we will be looking into the brief aspects of this particular article. Guys, you might have seen this particular thing, that the Sensex growth rate, it is going up. Fine. If we see the comparison of last 1 year, that is from March 2020 to approximately April 2021, within 1 year, the Sensex has grown to 81%. The progress into 1 year has been 81% as provided into this particular article. Guys, we have seen that just into the month of February 2021, Sensex crossed the 50,000 mark, and now the Sensex is around 53,000. So the Sensex is growing up. Now guys, earlier in 2020, when the pandemic began, the lockdown was initiated. Initially, the Sensex went down, it got nosedived. Fine, it just came to 28,000, but after that, it has constantly risen, and now it is 53,000. This is one particular fact. After that, guys, if you see what has happened, at the same time we see into the economy there is a contraction that is going on into the economy because of the first wave, second wave, lockdowns were announced, supply side constraints are there, employment is not very much good, inflation is going up, so into the economic conditions are not going good. So we can see that economy is going like this down, but the share market is going up. So a kind of a huge divergence has been there. Now, when we talk about this particular divergence, guys, even the Reserve Bank of India in its annual report for the 2020-21 said that right now we see the contraction of 8% has been there into the economy, but at the same time, share market is going up, so it poses the risk of a bubble. Now, what is this risk of a bubble? Guys, many a times what happens, there is one particular phenomena which is going up and up and up, and there is not a rational argument to explain it. Many a times, guys, through the speculation, the price of any particular thing may go up. Guys, see this particular thing. Just a few days back, there was a cryptocurrency burst which was there. Every day, the prices of the cryptocurrencies, particularly the Bitcoin, they were going up. Right now also, it is there. But guys, what happened? Between, there was a kind of a decline also into the cryptocurrency or the Bitcoin prices. Now, when we are talking about the bubble, guys, many a times what happens, suppose a particular thing has shown a kind of a upward trend. Now, as everybody has noticed that upward trend, now what will do? Everybody will speculate that okay, more upward trend will be there, and they will put their more money, more money, more money, and into that the trend will be going up. Now, guys, when we talk about the Indian share market, what happened into the Indian share market? First of all, during the time of the lockdown, which was there, the market went down. Even the people started to conserve their money. They started to pull back their money from the stock market. Stock market went back down, as we have seen that into 2020. Earlier, it just went to 28,000. Number one phenomenon. But guys, later what happened? The Western countries, okay, they went for the financial easing, and into that financial easing, they relaxed the interest rate into their own countries. Now, as the interest rates went down, the borrowing became easy. But the people who were already having the money, where they will put their own money, they obviously have to find new markets where they can put their money. And guys, into this, emerging countries are always a better parking spot for such money, because into the emerging markets, better interest rate can be attained. So guys, what happened? Now, as into the 2020, the financial easing was given into the entire Europe, America. Now, the hot money started to come into the India. This money was invested into the Indian stock market. And as this particular money was invested into the stock market, stock prices went up. As these stock prices went up, other people also, they got a signal that okay, now it is a better time that we should also put our money into the share market. Now, because other people also put money into the share market, further prices went up. Then guys, as this particular thing was there, even other people noticed that okay, share market is going up, they also put their money into the share market, then further prices went up. So guys, this particular prices, they were going up, and a kind of a bubble was developed. And whenever the bubble is there, bubble is always bound to burst. Okay, it is matter that okay, when it will burst. Guys, there was a dot-com bubble which was created in 1998, 99. It got busted. Cryptocurrency bubble is there, real estate bubble was there, now the stock market bubble is there. So it will go burst. And into this capacity, the government, the investors, everybody needs to be very much apprehensive. Now guys, it has been provided that why, first of all, or how this particular bubble might go burst. Number one, it has been provided that now the COVID-19 recovery is going on in all the countries. Because of this particular thing, the governments will also restrict their financial easing which they started. Now, as the government will be restricting their financial easing, automatically the interest rate into those countries will come up. And when they will be going up, the people who, the foreign portfolio investment which came into the India, these people will take back their money. As they will take back their money, obviously little bit prices of the share market might be going down, and as they will go down, guys, in India, many a times the people also go into a panic that okay, share market prices are going down, they will go into a panic and they might withdraw their money. As they are withdrawing their money, further prices will go down, further panic will created, further people will withdraw their money, and this particular decline or nosedive will begin. So this particular issue could be there, one fear. Now, it has been said that guys, when we talk about the India is particularly more vulnerable. Why? Because number one phenomena already we discussed, recovery is going on and the FPI money will be pulled back. Then the other reason are there, guys, that when we see the COVID-19 vaccination into the India, it is lagging behind most of the large countries. Fine, guys, India had just vaccinated 6.3% of its people. Fine, but when we see the other countries such as the US, China, UK, they have vaccinated more than 50% of the population. Now, as less people have been vaccinated, there might be the subsequent waves, there might be subsequent lockdowns, closures, and into that, even more economic contraction will be there. And guys, if more and more economic contraction can be there, share market has also to be abide by it into the long term. So the economic contraction will be there, because of which the vulnerability into the stock market will further enhance. Then guys, the second, it has been said that when we talk about the economic recovery, into the economic recovery, financial or the fiscal stimulus have to be given by the government, but the Indian government has not given a very big fiscal stimulus. According to the IMF data, it has been provided that around the world, average 7.4% of the global GDP is the fiscal stimulus, but in India, just 3.3% of the GDP fiscal stimulus has been there. So because of this weak fiscal stimulus, weak economic recovery there into the India, and because of the weak economic recovery, there might be implication onto the stock market. So all these particular issues have been suggested with respect to the stock market bubble, why it got created, why it might get destroyed, have been discussed. Guys, all this particular thing is very much important if you are preparing for your interview, as well as for your general understanding onto the Indian economy and related matters also. It is very much important. Please keep it into your mind. So that is all about this particular article, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this particular article again taken up from the editorial section of the Hindu newspaper. It is basically talking about the issues related to the Indian society. Now guys, what has happened? Already we have seen that few days back, the Pew research was published. Into this Pew research, it was said that into the India, at one hand people say that we are tolerant. More than 67% people, more than 80% of the people, they said that we are tolerant. But at the same time, people say that we don't want to intermingle with the people of other religion. We don't want to marry with them. We don't to dine with them. And even we will not be keeping friends from the other religion. So this Pew research was there. Many a times we have taken it up. Now guys, as this Pew research was there, it was said that in India there is a kind of paradox which is existing. On one hand, you say that you are tolerant, but on the other hand, you don't want the people from the other communities. So why this paradox? Now this paradox have been explained into the many ways. Number one, this paradox has been explained onto the basis of patchwork fabric model. Now the patchwork fabric model we already discussed, guys, into our newspaper analysis, where it has been said that as there is a fabric which is made up of different patches, these patches live together, but they also maintain their distinct identity. India is there. But guys, at the same time, there are some other models also which has been given. Now guys, the sociology, it is not a scientific subject, or basically rather I should say that it is not a technical subject which will be having only one answer. It might have many of the interpretations, and all can be right depending on to the justification that has been given. Anyhow, coming back to the article. Now guys, as into the Pew research, a kind of a paradox was noted into the India. The BBC Asia, it has said that when we talk about India, India is a thali. Fine thali plate where different food items are there. Why? Because into India, as the Indian meal comprises separate dishes on a platter where they are combined into the specific ways. In society also, we are seeing that all the people are like the different dishes. Okay, from time to time they are combined, but at the same time they are also separate very much. Is it clear? So with the thali, Indian society has been compared. So that is. Then guys, further important aspect of this particular article is this, that one sociological model has also been taken up to suggest that why this arrangement is there in India. Guys, here it has been said that there is one of a sociologist, that is Ashish Nandy. He says that in India a kind of a distinct cosmopolitanism, Asian cosmopolitanism is there. It has been said that there are certain regions into which there are not just the normal diversities, but there are the radical diversities. And when the radical diversities are there, melting pot model cannot be there. They cannot fuse totally with each other. Guys, melting pot model means that complete fusion of the different cultures, identities will be there, and at the end of the day, something new will come. Now, when the radical diversities will be there, the melting pot fusion could not be there. And therefore guys, what has happened into such kind of societies, the people, they have developed a kind of a peculiar coping mechanism. Now this coping mechanism is that the people from time to time, they will be coming together, they will be helping each other, they will be basically providing the support to each other, but again they will go back and they will be living into their own distinct identity. Is it clear? Here guys, we can read that it has resulted into a unique form of cosmopolitanism where differences can be accommodated without pressurizing member of one community to be like the other based on a notion of universal brotherhood. I will help you, but we cannot be brothers. I will come to your family, I will attend your functions, but we cannot marry. So universal brotherhood or the frat or the other kind of relations might not be there, but guys, we will cooperate. Here it has been provided that the members of one community can go to extraordinary length to help members of the other community to maintain their own customary practices, including the separate dining, dietary habits, and even the marriage. I will add here. Now, guys, it has been said that it is called as unheroic form of tolerance. Unheroic form of tolerance, what simply it means, again I will repeat the old thing, that it allows interaction for various purposes without forcing one to declare brotherly love or adopt the other community practices. Fine. So in India, what we follow tolerance, but it is an inheroic form of tolerance, which was suggested by the Ashish Nandi. It is a distinct Asian cosmopolitanism that we are following in India. So guys, please keep it in our mind. The tolerance in India is not similar to the enlightenment tolerance which is there into the West, where I one day will get a realization that okay, other people also have their own distinct identity, they should also exist, and I will start to tolerate them into a kind, because a change of heart has been there. Such kind of change of heart is not there. Just a coping mechanism is there where we have evolved with the tolerance, but at the same time we maintain a kind of a distinction also. So this is all which has been suggested into this particular article. So that is all, guys. I hope that you have understood it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Guys, please do utilize this understanding into essays as well as GS paper number 1 social issues. Now guys, this article is just talking about the surveillance reforms into the India that are needed because of this Pegasus incident that has happened. Guys, already yesterday's article we have discussed all the issues which are there. Apart from that, nothing more important is there into this particular article. So guys, just do refer to the 20th of July newspaper analysis. There we have taken up 5-6 articles, we combined them, and this entire Pegasus controversy, how this, what are the technical aspects, what are the other aspects that we have seen. So guys, please do look into it. But guys, into this particular article, one good suggestion that has been given. Now the one good suggestion is this, that into India we have many of the agencies which are carrying the surveillance. Here it has been provided that in 2014 the Ministry of Home Affairs told to the Parliament that there are the 9 central agencies, and as well as there are the DGPs of all the states as well as the Delhi, which have the power to carry the surveillance. Then guys, further it has been said, now they have the power to carry the surveillance under the Telegraph Act. Then guys, 9 central agencies as well as one other state agency, they were authorized to carry the surveillance by using the provision of the IT Act. So multiple surveillance agencies are there. Just this message we need to take. But guys, it has been said that these surveillance agencies, they have not accountability to the Parliament. Secondly, they are not created under the structure of a legislation. So guys, here the article suggestion has been given that what we need to do, we need to provide the legislative basis for the India's surveillance agencies. We need to come out with a legislation which is giving them the backing so that they are more so that they are more going in sync with the structure of Indian Constitution. Into this particular capacity, guys, what had happened, there was a private members bill also which was introduced, which talked that all intelligence agencies need to bring under a legislative framework, but it did not got passed. Even guys, the Institute for Defense and Strategic Analysis, it also published a report and said that the intelligence reforms in India are needed, and it was said that now they should come under a legislative umbrella. But guys, again nothing has happened into this particular respect. Then guys, one more reference has been given. See, the Shri Krishna committee which published its report onto the data protection, it also said that now the right to privacy has already been given into the Puttaswamy case, and because of that the surveillance agencies, they might become unconstitutional. So therefore, in order to save them, bring out a legislative framework under which they can be put. So all these suggestions have been given that surveillance reforms that are needed to be carried. We need to come out with a legislative framework under which these surveillance agencies can be put up. Moreover, it has also been said that into the Parliament also there is no accountability of these intelligence agencies. So here it has been said that a parliamentary committee onto the surveillance and security can be created, which will take up the accountability of these agencies. Though the report might be kept into the secrecy because there might be the elements of national security, but still accountability should be there. So just this suggestion which has been given here. So guys, link up this particular information with the yesterday's coverage that we have taken up, and in holistic sense this particular topic will be over. You don't need to go too much more into this particular detail. So that is all, and now we'll be taking up the next article. Now guys, this particular article is just talking about a kind of a issue that has been there. Now guys, the China is making up the China South Asia grouping. Into the China South Asia grouping, it is reaching to 6 of the countries which are into our neighborhood. They are the Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, and one of them is obviously China. Now what has happened here? China is reaching to all these countries and providing them the vaccines, the support, providing them the essentials, providing them the other technical expertise that how they can mitigate the pandemic. Now guys, India sees that the China is going into this particular direction so that India could be sidelined into the neighborhood. Fine. So India believes that this is the perception of the China. But guys, China justifies this thing that as India has suspended all the support, we have to naturally step in. So guys, India's neighborhood policy is a little bit going down. Further guys, into this capacity, even the countries such as the Bangladesh, they are also justifying that okay, China is not wrong, China is right. Why? Because India suspended their vaccine diplomacy because of their own vaccination priorities, and now we are taking the help from China. There is no problem, even India can take the help from the China. So this particular issue is there. Apart from that, nothing more important into this particular article. So guys, these evolving themes you need to keep in your mind so that you can make the sense of the issues that are going on. So that is all, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article provides that what has happened now into the space tourism. One more milestone has been achieved where the Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, he had ventured into the space. Fine, he reached, he made the flight of more than 100 kilometers in height and has crossed the Kármán line. Now guys, earlier also we have taken up that the Virgin Galactic founder, he also took up a space tourism flight, and into this particular capacity, this is the second such flight in less than 1 month's time. So guys, the space tourism is on to a kind of a boost. So that is all about this particular article. Into that capacity, India also needs to experiment, but right now our priorities are a little bit different. So that is all about this particular article, and now guys, we'll go into the next article. Apart from this, nothing more important into this article is there. Now guys, here certain data have been given with respect to the Indian economic performance. Just keep this particular data into your mind so that you can put specifically into your answers related to the Indian economy. Now these data will be different from other data also, because guys, every agency have their own data and their own speculations. Now first of all, the Asian Development basically the Asian Development Bank, it has said that India's growth forecast will be 10%. Earlier 11% was projected. Now it has been said that the forecast will be 10%. Clear? Why? Because of the lockdown that was imposed by the different states. Then guys, with respect to the population, it has been said that India will be able to vaccinate the population just by 2022 and 3 only. The government said that by the end of this year we'll do it. They have said that it will not be possible. By 22-3 only it will be possible. Then guys, it has been said that the average inflation will also be increased. Earlier it was said that 5.2% will be the inflation, but now it has been said that it will be 5.5%, and even we have seen that repeatedly for 2 months consecutively the inflation has breached the highest 6% band which was there. However guys, it has been said that however into the medium term, India's growth rate will enhance. It has been said that India is expected to record a growth of 7.5% in the financial year of 2022-2023. Fine. Earlier it was said that 7% growth was there, now 7.5%. Why? Because by that time, remember, we will be able to vaccinate all the people, and then guys, again the India will be coming to the normal course of economic development. So these are some of the forecasts that have been made. Apart from that, nothing more important. And guys, these data, these numbers are also very much evolving, so too much fixation is not needed. Fine. So that is all about this particular article. Fine. So today that is all for the newspaper analysis, guys. I hope that you are liking our initiative. Thank you so much.